my thing, which is astrology, but it's actually empowering people through the lens of astrology. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Well, my college boyfriend actually did a chart for me as a gift about 20 years ago.
Hmm.
And I didn't even really know what it was, but it was this map of based on the time, date, and place I was born that showed where all the planets were when I was born. It was like this instruction manual to understanding myself. It turned out it made so much sense that I was like, okay, there must be something to this.
Yeah.
So I started doing them for other people and learning how to do them myself.
I love that. An instruction manual for understanding yourself, which is
Hmm.
so clearly where the empowerment piece comes in. What say more about that, please?
Well, there's a lot of different types of astrology. Some is more the doomsday type that's like scary predictions that you don't want to know. And I don't like that type of astrology.
Not so much.
Um, no. But when it's done right, it's like all the planets were in a specific place at the moment you were born. And they each represent a different energy. Some represent the challenges you'll have, some represent how you are in love, what you were in a past life, and what your destiny is, how you communicate, where you're lucky and where things come easily. And so it's like putting together the puzzle of yourself and having this guide. Now, of course, there's free will in there, and you get to color in between these lines however you
Right.
want. But I found it to be very validating and very empowering and enlightening to understand. Okay, I've got 4 planets in Scorpio, but I'm a Sagittarius, so I have this intense Scorpio way about me, as well as a fun, happy-go-lucky side. So you understand all the sometimes contradictory parts of your personality, and have some freedom from that.
Love that, and that was my experience too. And we had a reading a couple of months back that still just sits right here, because it was like you said. There's a way in which you have this ability to you know what the lines are, but you get to color within. And you mentioned ease, and one of the many parts of our conversation that I keep coming back to is where things are super easy. I'm always all about how can this be easier? Let there be ease. Invite in the ease. And it was fascinating for me to hear from you why certain things were just really easy for me and I just found
Yeah.
that very fascinating. And where the places of challenge are truly areas of growth and what I'm here to do.
Absolutely, because even when something isn't designed to be easy, like because it carves out a new dimension of your soul and your personality by how you face those challenges, builds character, I guess you could say. So when you know that something may not be easy, you can adjust your expectations, and then you're not always swimming upstream. You can be like, all right, this is going to take me 5 years to learn instead of 5 seconds, but if I apply myself, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe this isn't even something I need to be spending my energy on in this lifetime. So maybe I'll put my best
Mm.
energies elsewhere. So it's very freeing to understand your chart as well as understanding other people's, because I
Mm.
find that probably the people that read or work with both of us aren't only interested in themselves, but they're really interested in the people around them having a great life.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was sold on doing my own chart, what really made me fall in love with astrology was how easily I was able to help my friends and loved ones. Like, you know, if they were hung up on a guy or unsure about a job, opportunity or what to do next, or tried to figure out a child. I mean, I was just got in a random conversation with a woman at a cafe today. Asked me what I was doing. I was working on my book, and she started opening up about her difficult Gemini daughter, and she was an Aquarius, and I was able to give her some peace. Just in a 5-minute conversation, she was like, "I want to cry," and she started by saying she didn't believe in astrology, really. So it's like
Mm.
it's this tool to give you peace in your heart and help you make choices and help the people you love make great choices in their own best interest.
Love that. And I have that conversation too, but it usually starts out with I don't believe all that self-fulfillment shit you're talking about. That's
Right,
usually like,
right.
Well, here's why. Here's why this is going on in your life. I love that. Gives them some peace. And again, there's that quality of empowerment. Um, I know a little bit about your backstory. This isn't where you started. I mean, it started with that chart. You were in university. What was going on for you as you decided to zig when maybe you were thinking you probably should have zagged, or like what was that process like for you when you decided this is it?
Well, I went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I studied graphic design, and I worked as a web designer, graphic and print designer for a long time, as well as published my own magazine. All very Sagittarian things, as it
Mm,
turns out, in hindsight.
right.
But yeah, I was real. I even worked at Ms. Magazine and women's empowerment issues and I still do work on that sort of stuff now, humanitarian things. But I found that astrology was the best and fastest way to empower people. I mean, it's really important that we obviously know about the politics and sociology and all the things that are going on and the isms and all that. But when you start to talk about those issues, people don't always want to talk about
Right.
it. And politics and religion are not always the favorite party topics. And I'm the daughter of a very political father and a rabbi mother, so we've got two of the taboos in one household. But
Oh my
but
god.
astrology, it's a way of giving people advice or even addressing things that they don't necessarily want to talk about normally in a way that they can still dismiss it as bullshit. So they're open to it because they might hear something useful, but they can still be, oh, I don't believe it.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great stuff. I wanted to ask you because I know you've got a really exciting teleclass coming up.
yeah,
Sounds very cool. 5 weeks. Say more. Say more.
5 weeks every Monday in October for an hour and a half. We are going to be teaching people how to read their own birth chart. My twin sister and I, we write as the AstroTwins, and we'll be giving that course. It's called Become Your Own Astrologer: How to Use Your Chart to Create a Life You Love. And we're going to go week by week and looking at what's your life destiny, how are you wired, compatibility. We're going to spend a couple weeks on in all of your relationships. What's the best career path? Really answering those questions that keep you up at night, but not just answering them for you, but teaching you in a very practical, simple way, not in a difficult, no math, no pencils and papers or anything like that, in a simple way you can keep forever how to interpret your and other people's astrological charts to really understand what's happening there.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just holding that vision of here it is, and you get to color it in however you like. But here are the lines that have been drawn
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
forces
And
beyond you.
not know why not have another tool in the toolbox that can come in handy for the rest of your life?
Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. So, okay, so just hearing your story about how you have, this underlying deep desire for empowerment for others, and then you have this delivery mechanism that it totally rocks, and you are so incredibly brilliant at it. I can say that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like it's just one of the most powerful hour and a half of my life. And I've been married and had kids and all that stuff, right? So that was really an awesome hour and a half. But people that are watching this are in the process of looking for their thing, or maybe they are, or things. And I always invite people to say, what is one thing that you'd love for people to know who are in the process of looking for their thing? What's something that you can leave with them?
Well, I think that if you're in a process, you don't want to get stuck in analysis paralysis. There's a time to be in the process and a time when you're spinning your wheels in the mud, and you have to know the difference. And I think gaining tools like astrology, if that's the one that speaks to you, or coaching, helps you get unstuck and make clear choices with peace, around those choices and really moving forward. The more you know yourself, too, the more you have something to go back to when things get a little confusing.
Holla!